now. So MHS Tigers versus Rohirrim. Game number 1 will be played on Sky Temple. That was the choice of Rohirrim. Game number 2 on Towers of Doom, choice of MHS Tigers. I personally am just happy I don't have to cast Volskaya Foundry again. I love Towers of Doom. Sky Temple can have some great games and some epic throw pits on that boss in the bottom lane. So should be an exciting matchup tonight. Something to be aware of. We had a patch today. Tyrande was reworked. And unlike new heroes, there is no cooldown period for reworks in NGS, so new and improved Tyrande is available for play right away. Very curious if we will see her. I have been hearing good things, and it looks like our number 10 player has joined us. So here we go in a moment onto Sky Temple. So Sky Temple is, if my memory serves me correctly, the second largest battleground in Heroes of the Storm. It's a huge map where you battle over the temples that spawn and will fire lasers at your opposition's structures. First spawn is always top and mid, second spawn always in the bottom. After that, it's a little more RNG. Falstad banned out by MHS Tigers. The global on such a large map will definitely get value. However, we are not seeing a lot of Falstad bans, so that's a little bit unusual. Dahaka being banned out by the side of Rohirrim, that one's a little less unusual, but both heroes clearly being banned out due to their globals. Whitemane still on the board. You're seeing her banned a lot. Asmodan still on the board. He is being banned a lot. And there is the Asmo ban. Let's see who Rohirrim counter with. In the patch today, we also got Mephisto released, but he, of course, 2 more weeks till he is ready for action here in the Nexus Gaming Series. So that will be the very opening week of round 4. 2 weeks from yesterday, he will be available. And a Kael'thas ban coming out for Rohirrim. Now we're going to get into the meat of this draft. Let's see what these guys are going to pick. I really like where the heroes meta is right now. There's all kinds of heroes. You can really make an argument for being highly prioritized. Greymane first picked. That's one of my squad's personal favorites. You can pick him pretty high. He does fantastic with the merc camps. He can finish kills. He has good poke. About the only thing Greymane doesn't offer on a kit is some CC. And then a Raynor Johanna response coming out by the Rohirrim. I think the top 3 tanks in the meta right now, probably Johanna, Muradin, and Diablo. So that's a real good pick coming out there by Rohirrim. And Raynor has really been all over the place since his rework a few weeks ago. Does really good, steady, consistent poke damage. Tyrael Sylvanas, I would not have guessed that. Tyrael Greymane is a little bit OG, kind of old school. You used to see that a lot at high level competitive about a year or so ago, if I were to guess. Tyrael can kind of dive in with the Greymane, enable him, give him shields. The talent or on Tyrael's E can give Greymane attack speed and movement speed, of course. And Sylvanas is, you don't really see her much in competitive because she's kind of a win more hero. She's enabled by pushing down structures. And typically you see her with objectives that push the map, not really on Sky Temple. So I'm curious to see what the Tigers have in mind for Sylvanas. Rohirrim do ban out Deckard Cain, and then a white main ban coming out by the Tigers. Probably the top 2 supports in Heroes of the Storm right now, so not surprised to see either one of those. And then an off-lane Leoric, followed up by a Kharazim. So I like that the Rohirrim picking their support hero now, allowing that last pick to be a flex pick. And then a Morales Artanis. This is a very unconventional comp for the side of the Tigers. You don't see a lot of Morales, and typically when you do, you want to have a nice, sturdy, stable front line to peel for her, and Artanis Tyrael don't offer a lot in the way of peels. And then a Valeera pickup for Rohirrim. I kind of really like that the silence on Morales can be, if timed right, could be really backbreaking in the midst of a team fight. This is going to be a fascinating matchup between these two squads. I personally like Rohirrim's comp just a little bit better. I think the Leoric and the Johanna are going to offer more control on the front line, enable them to control the engagements more. But Valeera, I think, is the real wild card. If she can play well, Valeera is very oppressive and difficult to deal with, and it's all about getting in position to get that silence onto the right targets to put pressure on the opposition. And let's see if Saturnus is able to do that. So the red team, the Rohirrim, trying to claw their way back toward 500. We have team captain Mark Facegang on Leoric, Dr. Drews on Raynor, August Fire on Nexomania Kharazim, Saturnus on Valeera, and I feel like I missed one, Dr. Draber playing Johanna. The blue team, the MHS Tigers, with a very unconventional team composition here, stacking all 5 members in the top lane. Actually, this is Juice Pirates. It took me a minute to figure it out. This is a form of Juice Pirates with Tyrael and the medic here. We have Wolfdark on Tyrael, Merlin X on Artanis, Greymane played by B-Blob, Winslow playing Morales, and Sylvanas played by Garchomp Chomp. So a quick assassination of the top lane tower by the MHS Tigers. However, pretty swift response there from the side of the Rohirrim. I'm curious if the Rohirrim have identified the Juice Pirates composition. I haven't casted this since early last season, when it was a little bit of a thing in the Div E, Div D ranks, because there was no Div E last season, so Div D ranks last season. So let's see if they're able to execute it, or if it has been identified. Valeera does go onto the Sylvanas. She's chunked pretty hard. Morales is able to get the healing beam on her, and they walk away. So if you're not familiar, with Juice Pirates, that's of course where you sanked onto a fortification after medevacing onto it, and you basically can, with 2 heroic cooldowns, should be able to get a keep down if you execute it correctly. And without any global, and that, that actually explains the Falstad ban as well. Falstad is one of the ways you can counter the Juice Pirates composition with a gust. So I'm very interested to know if the Rohirrim have identified what it is that the MHS Tigers are doing here. So in the bottom lane, Artanis taking a little bit of a bruising from Leoric and Raynor. Both teams kind of moving heroes around the map. No real laning assignments, kind of moving where they're needed. Nice timing on the siege camp for the Rohirrim. Now, Valeera coming down, put a little pressure on the Artanis. If Leoric and Valeera go on her, Leoric and Valeera go on to Artanis, he could be in trouble. There's the in trouble we were talking about. Will Merlinix get away? The oh, the Q out of the Leoric misses, and he was tanking tower. So Mark Face Game unfortunately falls to the tower shots. Artanis will return to the Hall of Storms. In the meantime, the rest of these squads are skirmishing around the Vision. Raynor and, Greymane and Morales have already started taking the shots here from the top. Rohirrim taking the shots from the mid lane. Both teams seem content. To split the objective here. And if you're the team that's running Juice Pirates, you are 100% just staying nice and even until your team gets to 10, and then you will run your medevac sanctification onto the structures as appropriate.
My temporary magic subsides. Find something else to fight over.
So after the first objective, only one kill, and that was Leoric stepping a little too close to the tower. Structures slightly in favor of the Tigers. However, levels pretty much dead, even a slight advantage to the Tigers. This game is really not going to kick it into high gear until the Tigers hit 10. And then it's really going to be a matter of finding out if the Rohirrim have identified what's happening here and what their plan is to counter it. Rohirrim is, I know from casting them before, I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, they are a new team to NGS this season, so they may not have identified what's going on here. Thanks, Odd Thought, for the raiding party, and welcome to Juice Pirates on Sky Temple. Once this game gets to level 10, we are going to see something anyway. Bottom Siege Giants picked up by the Tigers, and both teams, neither of these teams is really playing very aggressive. They're kind of rotating around the map as they need to, picking up experience. Neither side has really been aggressive into fighting or skirmishing. They're just kind of soaking it out. Now, I assume, and maybe I'm wrong, but with the top fort down for the side of the Rohirrim, that when they run their first Juice Pirates attack, maybe onto top keep. Level 10, very close here for Tigers. So close that I actually don't think they will be able to contest this next objective. However, the Tigers don't even want it. They're already grouping up for the medevac. Yeah, they will be taking this top. So here it is. I imagine we will see that any second. Medevac, Sanctification, Wailing Arrow. There they go. And as expected, directly onto top lane. Currently, no response from the Rohirrim, so I don't think they've seen this. Now, I guess with the Sylvanas, you can do it to the outer wall, but you really, typically, when you see teams do it, they just go directly onto the keep. You don't even need to go to that outer wall. However, still no response from Rohirrim, trying to get to level 10, and then I imagine maybe they'll show up. Sylvanas is in trouble from the Valeera. Sanctification does go down. However, Valeera has been chased off by Saturnus on the Valeera. Johanna is still bottom, so this is a 5v4. favoring the Tigers. Wailing Arrow does catch the Leoric, while Raynor is literally just standing there, wailing away on Morales. Those blue health bars pretty low here. And they're doing an excellent job. Rohirrim is, considering they only have 4 members. Johanna now does arrive, but maybe too little too late, as Valera and Karazim both fall. However, Dr. Draber riding in like the cavalry at the last minute, falling swords onto Morales to finish it off, and then Artanis dies on the backside. This is exactly what Juice Pirates does, though. They really don't care that they lost those members. They got a keep, and they will be up before the side of Rohirrim will really be able to do anything with that. And they can go on to another fort or boss, or once you get to about 16 or so with Sanctification, you can even do it on core if you execute it properly. So a keep and a fort down for Rohirrim. 2 forts down for the side of MHS Tigers. And they are posturing around, and see, this is it, directly onto core. So they're going to come fly onto the core here. They will do as much damage as they can. They will probably not be able to finish it. If you want to do this correctly, by the way, don't do it under the keep. You do it on the top side, so you're not tanking the keep. There's the Sanctification, will completely negate the falling sword. However, Leoric does arrive, as do the rest of the members in the Rohirrim, and it will not matter. 18, 10, 5, game over to MHS Tigers. So game 1 secured by the side of MHS Tigers using tried and true Juice Pirates. And now we will be going on to Towers of Doom. Towers of Doom was actually the Tigers' choice of map. It was Sky Temple was the choice of the Rohirrim. I'm sure they were expecting a more traditional game there, or rather than that comp, which was over in 9 minutes and 7 seconds. So let's get this game 2 lobby going. Towers of Doom, when it first came out, did not like it. For whatever reason, but I've never been so wrong, because Towers of Doom may be the best battlefield in the game, in my humble opinion. It seems like every time you cast a game that's just one of those games, you're like, oh my god, that was incredible. It's always on Towers of Doom. The comeback potential is so real. And it just really feels like you are never out of a game until the game is actually over. And that's largely due to the mechanic where you can't directly attack the core. So it allows for the games to go on towers, where maybe on other maps, maps they wouldn't. Typically on most maps, if you win, that 5-on-5 post 20, in most situations, you're going to be able to close the game out. And that's just not always the case here. So waiting for teams to come on in. Have 8 out of 10, waiting for 2 more, and we can get Towers of Doom going on what I'm going to go way out on a limb and say that this game here is going to last longer than 9 minutes and 7 seconds. So all 5 members here for the side of the Rohirrim, waiting for the last 2 members of the MHS Tigers. All right, 10 out of 10. Gonna hit this start button here in a minute. And off to Towers of Doom for game number 2. So Rohirrim looking to pick up the split after that game 1. And what will likely be a much more straightforward game, I would imagine. First ban, first pick for Rohirrim. And let's see if they react at all to the first game shenanigans. I don't think they would on Towers of Doom, as it's not really something you can run on here in quite the same way. Instead, it's a first ban Lunara. It's been a long time since I've seen Lunara banned out. I'm wondering if that's a targeted ban or something they have specific in mind for the comp that they want to run. I'm not quite sure about that. Tigers are going to come back with Deckard Cain. Still sitting at the top of the support meta, Deckard with the big AoE slows, the big AoE root, 2 impactful heroics. He's just a really solid hero. Stitches banned out from Rohirrim. And let's see who the Tigers will respond with. Possibly Whitemane. She did make it to mid-ban phase last time. And instead, Raynor. After a game like we had on that game 1, these two teams, there's basically nothing you can take away from this. From that game 1, I should say. There's no going to be targeted bans. You really didn't get a sense for what the other team could or couldn't do with any of the particular heroes they selected, just because of how that first game went. First pick Varian for the side of the Rohirrim. And now we have Asmodan, maybe Johanna. No, Asmodan, Whitemane coming out for Tigers. Most of the games I've casted, Asmodan is not making it past the first round of bans, so I am not at all surprised to see him so highly prioritized. Same thing with Whitemane. She's not usually making it out of those first 4 bans, so 2 big pickups for the Tigers. Rohirrim responds with a Muradin and Tehran. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do have reworked Tehran. The scuttlebutt is she is capable of being a solo support in the right situation. You really want to make sure you maximize her utility, though. A little bit of kind of an old school here. If you probably have Taunt, Lunar Flare, Stormbolt, the old Morande combo, and that is a very heads-up ban coming out for the side of the Tigers. Sergeant Hammer would have really slotted in nicely behind Murid and Varian. But with the right assassins for the side of the Rohirrim, this could be a big-time blow-up comp that they're putting together on their side. Yrel being banned out. Man, is she annoying. In my opinion, she is the most annoying hero to play against right now. She's jumping all over you. She never dies. She smacks everybody away. So really trying to isolate out that solo. And then a Hanzo Genji, so full Shimada draft rotation for the Tigers, and they will have a solo tank comp with an Asmodan, Hanzo, Genji backline. Great pick on the Cassia. She's sturdy enough for an assassin to where she won't be able to be picked on too much by the Genji and the Hanzo. And a Thrall. So you respond to the blow-up comp with the Genji by making it so really the only hero you can isolate out effectively is Tyrande. Everybody else for the side of the Rohirrim has some kind of self-heal, they're durable, some form of protection or healing to keep themselves alive. I really like the draft coming out here by the Rohirrim. And what tank is it going to be for the MHS Tigers? ETC. All right. ETC has a really strong base kit. However, for a main tank right now, he has a really hard time holding the front line, so you just don't see as much of him as you used to. He can be kind of taken down pretty fast. And with the comp that the Rohirrim is running, I actually think they could blow up that ETC. They could to the Stormbolt, Lunar Flare, Hunter's Mark, Frostwolf from Thrall. They have enough damage to take down an ETC. Very interested to see how this game goes. I really want to see how well the new and improved solo healing Tyrande works. Also, that's because I pressed the wrong thing. There we go. Fix the overlays. So game number 2 between the Division E MHS Tigers versus the Rohirrim on Towers of Doom. On the red team, hoping to pick up the split, Rohirrim, led by Mark Facegang on Muradin, Saturnus on Tyrande, August Fire on Thrall, Dr. Drews on Varian, and Draber 37 on Cassia. For the blue team, the MHS Tigers, Wolfdark on ETC, Winslow on Genji, B-Blob on... Scratch that. Winslow on Hanzo, B-Blob on Genji, Merlin X on Whitemane, and Garchompgum on Asmodan. The first thing we really want to watch out for this game, Varian's level 4. With this big front line, with this composition, with the ability to isolate out and blow somebody up, are they going to go with Colossus Smash? That and the Tyrande would give them a lot of vulnerable status to throw out. So far it's a 5-on-4. Asmodan's kind of pushing out the top lane. Nobody from Rohirrim has rotated up there to do anything about it. Now Thrall rotating to bottom. Varian rotating to top. He does catch the Asmodan, put some damage into him. Auto attack, auto attack. In the meantime, in the mid, we still have a barroom brawl here going on. 4v3. Muradin needs to be really careful with a Genji. You really don't want to hang around that low. Nice Lunar Flare by Saturnus to put some pressure on that ETC. Varian not going to be able to hold this lane against Asmodan. Just doing his best to soak and not lose too much structure damage. Thrall has rotated onto the siege camp. No such move from the side of the Tigers. And the perma brawl in the mid lane continues. Genji in trouble. Power slide onto the Muradin to help peel for said Genji. Fend onto Whitemane. Lunar Flare off the mark. That Lunar Flare hits. Whitemane may have been in trouble there. It looks like Hanzo poked his head in onto that camp invasion. Muradin might be in trouble. Power slide is there. Dwarf toss away. A nice peeling Lunar Flare by Saturnus. And Muradin able to walk away, proc his trade healing, and Thrall will resume his quest to capture this siege camp. Let's take a little peek here in the top lane. As expected, Varian losing hard, doing his best to soak, stay alive, and they do. Genji takes out the Thrall and steals the siege camp. Great move that I missed there by the MHS Tigers. And once again, structures early game in favor of the Tigers. Anytime you're a Genji, you have a Genji on the other team, you really can't hang around at such low life. You're just inviting him in to swift strike in, finish you off, get that reset, and get out of there. So triple altar spawn. Let's see how these teams play it. Thrall and Muradin, and it's actually a Windblades variant. Lunar Flare does not connect. I would really like to see just maybe two of these guys. Now Muradin's here, lands the Stormbolt on the Genji, and down he will go. However, the MHS Tigers did already secure their left-hand side altar. There's the Dwarf Toss, ETC power sliding to safely. Both teams secure their own top shrines, and now Cassia putting a lot of damage into Hanzo, forcing him to withdraw. Draber will not be able to cap this though, and with ETC and Whitemane on the way, Cassia might be in trouble. Power Slide is able to connect. Draber not quite able to get out. Draber falls. Cassia and Asmodan both going down a 1-4-1 as Asmodan was picked off camera. It was actually the members of the Rohirrim that caught him coming down in rotation. Genji took a lot of damage, and with his deflect already down, kind of running for his life. Muradin now low, and there's the swift strike in and out. Exactly what we were talking about. However, a great counter kill with Twin Blades Varian. Big time Lunar Flare. Dr. Droz really cleaning up right now. However, the mana for Tyrande is very low, and that is a triple kill by Twin Blades Varian. Now Cassia has arrived in time to respawn. She goes all the way around to get the damage onto the Whitemane. However, not able to finish her off. And now Cassia is tanking. Oh my goodness, somebody kill Whitemane. Wow. Whitemane gets away and Cassia doesn't. Neither team has yet to secure this altar, and the brawl continues. Muradin going hard onto Whitemane. Good peels by ETC, and there's Genji finishing off the low member again. And no doubt MHS Tigers now will finally be able to secure this, and almost a triple kill as well. This time Genji does not get the reset. He is tanking, and down he goes. So a misplay there by Genji, tower diving onto the Thrall, but the swift strike did not land, and he found himself behind enemies' lines and in a world of trouble. So no shortage of action here in this game too, unlike game one. Both sides constantly brawling. And let's see if we can take a look at those healing numbers. Early returns on solo heal Tyrande. Not keeping up with the Whitemane, of course, but the question is it enough to run as a solo support when you combine with all the utility she has? Lunar Flare missed onto Hanzo. If that hit, he may have gone down. So now it's actually Thrall in the top lane against Asmodan. He will fare much, much better than Varian did. Although Twin Blades Varian would have probably done a lot better than Base Varian will. Not only does he fare better, he actually 1v1 kills Asmodan. Great play by August Fire, securing the solo 1v1 kill. Hanzo's still pretty low, and with the combination of Cassia, Tyrande really putting a lot of pressure on him. There's the Fend. Winslow eating a lot of damage, forced to retreat. All three Pumpkin Sappers get in, get value. Both teams on the verge of 10. However, this time it's the Rohirrim that will actually get to level 10 first. And they do get Shadowstalk, the new / old reworked healing reworked healing ultimate from Tyrande, Avatar from Muradin, Sundering from Thrall, Ball Lightning from Cassia, and Warbringer from Varian. For the side of MHS Tigers as Hanzo goes down to Toronto, followed by Asunder. ETC also in a lot of trouble on the backside as Cassia and Muradin are just wailing on this ETC. 24 hit points, able to proc his guitar solo to get some heals and get away. This is the first real moment we've seen either game where the Rohirrim are making something happen. Root onto Whitemane combined with Windblade's Varian. Whitemane will go down. Genji now forced to retreat. Really well played here by the Rohirrim. And the comp that they've built with Twin Blades Varian and Muradin and Thrall and even Cassia is forward, forward, forward. Aggression, aggression, aggression. Do not stop. But let's go over... Actually, let's not, because we do have a rotation coming from the Tigers. Members of the Rohirrim might be caught out. Genji does pop an early deflect. Globe of Annihilation and a two-man mosh pit will spell the end of Tyrande and Cassia. Varian in a lot of trouble. He is doing his best to run. Still has a pretty good health pool here. However, with 3 members in hot pursuit and the slows coming out from Whitemane, maybe not. Root does land on the Genjo, and then the turn counter kill. Dr. Drew showing no fear, and then a huge sundering. Globe of Annihilation does finish off Varian, but not before Thrall and Varian turned 2 counter kills in the form of Genji and Asmodan. Alright. So for the side of the MHS Tigers here, we do have Mosh Pit that we saw from ETC, X Strike from Genji, Dragon Strike from Hanzo, Tide of Sin from Asmodan, and Divine Reckoning from Whitemane. So by the early looks in this game, this is going to be an entertaining, very close, very brawly kind of game. The kind of game you want to watch, the kind of game you want to cast. Both sides at level 12, both sides rotating in force. Asmodan is a little bit late, and that is allowing the Rohirrim to take the initial lead. Genji could be in trouble here. He is able to use Deflect. Nice power slide by ETC to keep Genji safe. There's the Fend. Lunar Flare does miss. Doesn't matter. Hanzo the first to fall. Big Globe of Annihilation catches 2. Rohirrim do channel the altar on the backside, and now Thrall coming to reinforce his teammates. Tigers might be in trouble here. Globe of Annihilation catches 3, but Whitemane is in trouble. Thrall is onto her, and it's actually Cassia who finishes him off. Dr. Drew's Twin Blades Varian going very deep, very aggro, and Rohirrim able to capture the bottom fort and really take the momentum this game with 2 unanswered kills and the lead in core health, now stealing the Siege Giants away from the Tigers. Game 1, the Tigers ran Juice Pirates, and there's the stun, there's the flare, there's all of the CC onto ETC, but he was pretty full health. That was going to be a tough nut to crack. Game 1, MHS Tigers ran a comp that Rohirrim were not on the look for, didn't really know how to deal with it, and so far in the early to mid going here, it looks like the Rohirrim are actually returning the favor. Genji and Thrall trading. That was actually a 2v1, and then the counter kill in the top lane. Thrall actually fought a 2v1 and was able to trade. They do push in one of the Pumpkin Sappers for 1 extra shot onto core. But so far here in the mid game, the Tigers really haven't had an answer for this hyper aggro comp as Whitemane inexplicably starts tanking the fort. I maybe thought she was further away than she was. Now pressure in the top lane. The Pumpkin Sappers have been picked up by the side of the Rohirrim. With this fort here, they can channel this bottom for free. Instead, they're opting to defend. Dwarf Toss comes out. Stormbolt misses. They really want to keep that bottom fort in their possession. Now a kind of a split engagement, a 2v2 in the bottom, a 3v3 in the mid. Now both teams are converging into a 5v5. There's the Warbringer onto the Lunar Flare. Asmo's in trouble. Ball Lightning goes out, able to finish the kill. Dragon Strike doesn't catch anybody, but a 4-man Mosh Pit does. X-Strike on top of it. Cassia the first to fall, but a counter kill onto the ETC. Hanzo is running for his life, and despite the 4-man Mosh Pit, Rohirrim on an absolute roll on the warpath here. A 3-4-1, and they will secure both of these altar spawns. They will secure level 16 talent tier advantage, and they are taking control of this game. Just no answer from the Tigers with the hyper aggro Thrall, the hyper aggro Twin Blades Varian, a Muradin dwarf tossing on the backline, Cassia always moving, fending forward, ball lightning. They just cannot seem to keep up with this constant in-your-face style of comp that the Rohirrim has broken out here. Not only can they not deal with the comp, they are unable in any way, shape, or form to take back this bottom fort. Once the Rohirrim took it, double Lunar Flare stun by Saturnus, they have held onto it. Now we have Windblaze Varian coming in. A huge Thunder catches 3. Whitemane might be in trouble if they can hold her down. They can. Down she goes again. ETC very low, forced to run back into the safe zone. Warbringer does land onto him. They do catch Tyrande on the backside. Genji going deep. Now Thrall goes down. And Varian just going absolutely ham. Dragon Strike able to finish him off. So the Tigers, without Cassia here, Rohirrim may be a little bit questionable to take that engagement. They lose 3 deaths unanswered, fighting, trying to defend their fort the best they can. Cassia is already in position to take the upper left. Are they being aggro here? I mean, really, Rohirrim, best case scenario, is only going to get one of these. Cassia and Muradin both in position to channel, and MHS Tigers know that all 3 of these should be theirs. Cassia is forced to back up. Stormbolt does go out onto Cassia. There's the blind. There's the fend. Hanzo in trouble. Lunar Flare from downtown. I'm sorry, Owl Sentinel from downtown catches nobody. Ball Lightning does bounce around. Hanzo is very low. There goes the Globe of Annihilation, really chunking Muradin, but it's actually ETC that falls. Now Rohirrim have arrived here in force. They do have numbers. A big-time Fen Sunder. Genji has to run away. The Thrall catches him and kills him. And that will allow the Rohirrim to capture one of these 3 altars as Whitemane goes down too. Will they immediately turn to boss? That's what I would expect, and that is what they are doing. That will increase their lead to 24-8 in core health. There was a big moment in the bottom lane for the side of the MHS Tigers, a 3-0 team fight, but the Rohirrim bounced back so quickly from that, and they were able to make something out of nothing. They have about a full level lead here, and they are handily winning the race to 20. Tyrande, though, she is all by herself here with the Genji Hanzo. That's a tough place to be. Now the Rohirrim are coming. Thrall and Cassia are still in the top lane, though. Both of these teams a little bit scattered. Kind of skirmishing around the map where they happen to run into each other. Thrall returning to the top lane to pressure that out. Now the Rohirrim kind of hovering around mid and skirmishing, but top is actually... Thrall is getting free damage top. If I'm Rohirrim, I don't know if I want to take this with Thrall not here. A 2-man mosh pit, that's exactly why. A Lunar Flare is able to end it, but Dragon Strike does go out, does a lot of damage. Avatar pop to keep him up, and now ETC is in trouble. A huge moment for the Rohirrim, actually winning a 5-on-4 engagement. Finally, a 2-1, and now 2-2. 3-1. Sunder catches Genji, but not able to finish him off. There we go. So that ends up being actually a 3-4-2, the final kill count there. But Rohirrim ahead 25-17 in kills. If they get both of these, ladies and gentlemen, we will have game 2 into the Rohirrim. Here comes the Globe to stall it out. However, with only 2 members up, this is going to be a very difficult defense for the MHS Tigers. There goes 4 shots. There goes 4 more. The Rohirrim bouncing back from what had to be a disappointing game 1. and able to get the split in a very commanding fashion in Game 2 on Towers of Doom. So we will see if we can get a quick interview here with the team captain of the Rohirrim, Mark Facegang. Picking up a 1v1 split with a team much higher than you in the standings is definitely a good result for them. I don't think you can really take anything out of that Game 1. So the dominating fashion in which they took Game 2 has to feel really good. I'm sure these guys are going to come in feeling pretty good about themselves. Let's see if we can get him in here momentarily. Gotta run him down real quick. All right, what's going on? Congratulations on that big Game 2 win. You guys picking up a split against a team that's having a stronger season. How you guys feeling after that pretty commanding Game 2 win there?
Thank you. Yeah, it feels good. We've been on a little bit of a loss streak there, and so it's nice to get the W back for the time being. So yeah, it felt good. The second game was really fun. So and props to it's both teams well played.
Yeah, not much to talk about Game 1, so we're just going to blow right by that one.
Those are some sick moves, though. That was awesome. I haven't seen that, actually.
Oh, that's an old Div D special, the Juice Pirates there. So,
oh, sick.
Now you guys have seen it. You can keep an eye out for the Medevac Sanctification combo.
Yeah.
Game 2, you guys put together this composition that never went backwards. Twin Blades variant, Thrall, Dwarf Tossing Muradin always seemed to be up in your face. Is that something you guys ran before? Was it just kind of you threw it together then? What was the talk and draft to put that together?
Yeah, we were thinking of going for a dive comp on that, and that's kind of, I think, where a lot of our strength lies, is kind of just diving in. And so with Thrall, I think that was our backup pick, just to see if we could get it. And then, first pick Barry in there as like our base. And then, they didn't ban out Murd in there either. So we were just ready to go with that. But we were thinking of going Hammer, but then they banned out our Hammer on that. I think it was this map, I forget, or maybe it was the last one. But yeah, that was another back of mind thing we were thinking about.
Yeah, the Hammer ban was really good. It would have slotted in really well behind the Varian Murd and frontline there on Towers of Doom. Is so good. Yeah, so that was a heads up ban. Did you guys think about the Colossus Smash at all, or was that Windblades the whole way?
I think we were thinking about it, and then we just let Brett make the call as he was kind of feeling out the match. But yeah, both are great. I think it's just whatever he was more comfortable with, we kind of went with there. So yeah.
Yeah, Twin Blaze Variant is a guilty pleasure of mine, so anytime my team says I'm allowed to play it, it doesn't matter if it works or not, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
same thing with the Duranda today with the new, I guess she got reworked.
Yeah, she did. Were you guys not aware of that?
No, Saturnus actually was, and so he was hyped because he's been a
good
Duranda fan for a while, and so yeah, we didn't know how it was going to be, but.
So I was going to ask you, how did it feel? Because the kind of scuttlebutt that I've heard, on the Discord and the Twitter is that she's, it's still early. It's only been a day, but situationally viable as a solo support. How did she feel to you guys?
Yeah, I think I'd say that's probably the case. I don't know if I could feel like there were like straight, just huge buffs from like a low level or low health all the way upwards. But I just have to pay attention more, to be honest, because I was just rolling Muradin, so I had a lot of self-healing there. So I was just relying on those. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a good viable pick, especially if someone wants to play Tyrande again. Similar to Asmo, it's just back.
So I know was it last week or the week? I cast a lot of games. Last week or the week before I cast you guys, pretty sure you guys said you're new How's it coming along? Second half of the season, where are you guys at?
We started out strong, and then we started facing the top tier talent, and definitely lost quite a few matches there. But it's been pushing us to at least think about the game more and practice. And I think the win today was really good. It was a good morale booster for sure. So we got some smiles and laughs at the end. So that was nice.
Yeah, that was a really commanding game too. And actually, MHS Tigers, I don't know if you saw the little post I put. Those guys have been around for a million years, and the team captain, when I DM'd him before the game, hey, who are you guys playing? Let me know so I can set up the towers, which I ended up not doing anyway. But he's like, oh yeah, you casted me Mongoose back in Chair League, and so he found the VOD. It was February 26th, 2016.
Oh wow, that's
so
awesome.
Those guys have been around a while, no strangers to the amateur circuit. And ironically, the team they played also still in NGS in Division C right now. So
very cool, awesome. Yeah, it's cool to hear teams lasting for a while and sticking together. That's awesome.
And I can tell you from my experience, the number one thing that improved me personally was playing in Chair League and now NGS. It just makes you a better player. So I'm always kind of interested to see guys' experience and feedback as they kind of dip their toes into our little amateur competitive world. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're excited. It's really fun, and we're getting all the logistical things too. Like making a calendar so that's easy to schedule the times people aren't available. Yep. All those little things all add up and make it a lot easier. So we're happy to be here and thankful. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I tell teams that first season with a new squad is 100% the toughest. You're figuring out roles, chemistry, how the team is going to talk, in game to each other, and then the logistics of scheduling and is who available when, and do we text, do we email, do we call?
We're still there on the rolls, like trying to figure out what we're doing. We just kind of try new stuff every game.
Let me tell you, if you make it through the first season, you guys are set. It's that first season that's the big one.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, cool. We're excited. So yeah, hopefully we'll be playing more games here.
Any shout outs on your way out the door?
Shout outs to everyone playing today. Thanks for waiting and the patience. With the traffic today, one of our teammates was a little late, and so we really appreciate it. Thanks for casting our game, and shout out to everyone here. All the practice and all the hard work for these games. So,
well, congratulations again. Thanks to everybody for showing up. That's going to do it for me tonight. Congratulations to both teams picking up a 1-to-1 split, MHS Tigers and Rohirrim. I will be back here tomorrow night at 8:30. Who I am casting is escaping me, but when I put up the thanks for watching screen, you'll see all of my extra content pop up. Follow me on Twitter, mongoose __, 2 underscores, because otherwise you'll get somebody else. 22. Twitch, of course, you're here. Hit that follow button. And the big one for me, trying to get 100 YouTube subs so we can change that YouTube channel name into something that isn't a random series of numbers and letters. Not only do my casts go on there, but a lot of my team's coaching sessions go on there, so there's some educational content on my YouTube as well. I do cut highlight reels for all of the Regen teams, also the Regen Invitational. I cut together about a 10-minute highlight reel, so there's some other stuff to watch on there too. Go check it out. Thanks everybody for hanging out. Have a wonderful evening, and we will see you back here tomorrow night, 8:30. Have a fantastic evening.